Hello Brigadiers and Brigadettes, this is your captain speaking. Welcome to my channel, now let's jump into some hockey content. Hello everybody, happy I believe Friday, I guess, I don't even know at this point. I've been busy with work, but here we are putting out another video, and if you're new, please make sure to subscribe and then give this video a thumbs up if you like it, that's for everybody. So today we're talking about the Boston Bruins and the Washington Capitals and their first round preview. And one thing I wanted to say is I'm putting out 2 more playoff previews tomorrow because the NHL loves to just throw out the playoff schedule, am I right? Yeah, so let's talk about this matchup, which we have the 2-seed Capitals taking on the 3-seed Bruins. Big matchup, pretty exciting round. I think it'll be for these two teams, or at least I hope. I hope every series is fun, good, and all that stuff. For the Capitals, it is another year of proving people like me wrong, and I think that their players that are older can still perform and perform at a high level, and they showed that because they finished second in the division, so great for them. And I do think a big reason that I doubted them was the goaltending, and it's still a big question mark for me going into the playoffs, but we can see that they can win games because, like we said, they finished right up there at the top of the division except for Pittsburgh. And also, they scored the second most goals in the league. So regardless, for Washington, it was another successful year, and they made their 7th straight playoff appearance, and yeah, the machine keeps rolling, and obviously at times there's been bumps in the road, specifically in the playoffs, but we'll see if maybe they could get another deep run, maybe. And now for the Bruins, it was a tough year because you had players like Patrice Bergeron, Brad Marchand, and David Pastrnak injured, and many more. It was just anybody and everybody that could get injured got injured for the Bruins. I mean, it was crazy. It kind of felt like what happened with the Blue Jackets and the Penguins last year. It was like anybody and everybody that got injured did. So yeah, but regardless, they finished 3rd in a tough division. They made their 5th straight playoff appearance, and let's dive into the matchup. And I'm pretty excited about this, to be honest. Sorry if I started off a little slow. Just woke up, I've got work, and the NHL threw me off. I've been doing notes all night, so I apologize for that. Please give me some leeway. And I think if we focus on a big part of this story, it'll be whether or not Washington can contain Boston's big 3 of Bergeron, Marchand, and Pastrnak. And when they play together, they've been dubbed the perfection line, and they play really well, so it makes sense. And you have 2 of the 3 players are good defensive players in Bergeron and Marchand. And, they score goals. I mean, they can score goals. They can score them in bunches. These 3 players combined for 72 out of 164 of the goals for Boston, and that is 44% of Boston's goals. So you're going to be in a lot better shape if you're Washington if you can contain the big 3. Now, I know that's not easy. Trust me, I'm not saying, yeah, it's so easy to contain the big 3. It's not. I get that. But try to limit them at least. Now, Washington has struggled to keep the puck out of the net. But at 5-on-5 play, I'd say that, they've been pretty good. And if you give somebody like Nick Jensen, a defensive defenseman, some more minutes for this series, maybe it could help out. And this actually pushes us over to our next topic of whether or not it's the goalie's fault that they've given up so many goals. And, this is something that I don't want to blame these young goalies, because it's kind of a yes and no situation where there is some blame to be put on the goalies, but there's also some blame to, my stomach grumbled, sorry I haven't eaten yet, but there's also some blame to put up on the players as well that aren't the goalie, the forwards, the defensemen. So for 5-on-5, Capitals, very good team. And the PKs where they struggle, especially giving up high danger chances. I do think that, if they use somebody like Brendan Dillon a little bit more on the PK, that they'd be in better shape. I think that if they could use Carlson less on the PK and Dillon more. Now, I do know they get paired up a lot together, but if they could just break that up a little bit, allow Carlson to focus more on his offensive game, which is, he's an offensive player. Although some people still disagree with that. He's an offensive player. I don't know what you want me to say. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. There's nothing bad about being an offensive player. Do what you're good at. So, yeah, we'll see how that works out there. Also, Washington really has a lot of guys on this roster, not a lot, but a considerable amount that are offensive first players that really aren't that good at defense. Let them play offense, and then just put the defensive guys, see if they can log more minutes, and go that approach. And it's kind of a mixed bag. Yes, it could hurt them, but also they can score some more goals. But if you put out some more defensively skilled players, I think they're going to be all right. Now, like I said, the goalies are definitely a part of this problem, but they're also very young. And I don't know if they're going to be up to speed next year, but this year was really a baptism by fire in a really, really tough division with some good teams that can score. And I think maybe they'll bounce back next year, but I don't know. It's going to be tough to see. I'll have to dive into that later and look at a lot of things, but it was a tough division to really get your rookie year into. So, like we said though, luckily for them, they have a team that can score a lot. So you're going to be in good shape as long as Washington can score. And that leads to the final thing I wanted to talk about for this series. Can Washington be capable of simply outscoring the Boston Bruins, which is going to be huge. And this is what we'll get into. And yes, like we said, we know Washington can score a lot, but against a team like Boston that is just riddled up and down the lineup with good defensive players, can the Capitals simply go for, let's just outscore them, and let's do it in a high-scoring fashion? Maybe, but they'll need to get back to, maybe not relying as much on Alex Ovechkin and TJ Oshie, as they provided 35% of Washington's goals. I'm still saying they're going to need to do their, what they do, OVB-OV, but they need to make sure that they have more people scoring goals and spread the wealth a little bit. Now, Washington does have scoring depth, so that's pretty good, but against a team that dominates in possession, things like scoring chances, limiting those, has Rask, that is a great playoff performer. You're probably going to want to level it out and get everybody the best looks possible, which I know sounds dumb, but still. And I'm getting a call, but not sure what that's about. But they've got young goalies, and that's the thing. You've got to protect these young goalies, and you've got to be able to score goals, which is going to be a big thing. But also, those guys maybe try to play more sound defensively than they would normally. I'm not saying be locked down and focus and try to be the best two-way player you can for this, but if you could just, play sound defensive hockey and try to be better than you typically are, but not, try to change your game overtly or anything like that, they're probably going to be all right. And limit the shots, because you're going to need to keep them to the outside, especially against a team like Boston where they've already got snipers. Now, I think a big thing for this is Washington. Keep the perfection line at bay. Try to get on the power play as much as possible. They have the third best power play percentage in the league, and Boston spent the third most time on the PK. Now, Boston, I'm pretty sure, had a really, really good PK, but still, they've been on the third most time, or they've had to spend a lot of time on the PK. Try to take advantage of it. But with all that said, with this playoff series, I am picking out of the two teams, the Boston Bruins and the Washington Capitals. I'm picking Boston in 6. I do think that Boston is better than Washington. This team knows how to win, and while Washington definitely is a good team, I'm still not sure what the goaltending is, and I'm not sure if the goaltenders will be able to live up to the task in the playoffs. And I'm not sure if Washington is still that playoff team yet. They're a good team, but the goalie situation concerns me. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I apologize for being so tired. I was whipping up notes. I'll have 2 videos for you tomorrow, 2 playoff videos. And if you are new, please make sure to subscribe. Everybody like this video if you enjoyed it. Everybody stay safe, have a great day, and stay away from COVID, okay? Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.